Welcome to the deep dive.
Hmm.
Today, we're plunging into the world of a company that, well, processed a truly staggering amount in 2024. We're talking $1.4 trillion in payments.
1.4 trillion. It's hard to even picture.
Right, and to put that into perspective for you, that's roughly 1.3% of global GDP.
Just one company.
Imagine that. A single company facilitating such a massive chunk of the world's economic activity. So our mission today is to really take a deep dive into Stripe. Maybe not just as the payment processor you might know it as.
Right, it's much more than that now.
Exactly. It's this comprehensive financial infrastructure platform that honestly powers a huge part of the internet economy. We're going to peel back the layers, try to understand how it works, what makes it so powerful, maybe uniquely powerful,
Yeah.
and why it's become so vital to businesses everywhere. We'll be digging into a detailed company profile, various reports, trying to uncover the key insights for you. Okay, so let's unpack this right away. Stripe's foundational mission. It's incredibly ambitious. They say they want to increase the GDP of the internet. What does that even mean in practical terms? How does that go beyond just moving money around?
Well, I think the key point here is that mission really positions Stripe as building the foundational economic infrastructure for all sorts of online businesses, big and small.
Infrastructure. Oh.
Yeah, it's about providing superior infrastructure, stuff
Yeah.
that's global, easy to use, flexible, fast, and importantly, cost-effective.
Mm-hmm.
It's less about just processing a payment and more about enabling, well, a more dynamic, more connected online world, a more prosperous one, ideally.
And the numbers. Wow, they certainly seem to back that ambition up. That $1.4 trillion in payments in 2024, that's a 38% year-over-year increase.
Yeah, 38%. That growth rate is astounding, really.
It is.
And if you connect that back to the bigger picture, like you said, 1.3% of global GDP, it just highlights its substantial contribution.
Right.
And what's maybe even more impressive, Stripe hit that $1 trillion total payment volume milestone a full decade faster than PayPal did.
A decade faster. Wow.
Yeah, it really underscores their accelerated trajectory, their market penetration.
And what really stands out about Stripe is that global reach and also the client base. We're talking support for over 135 currencies and over 100 payment methods.
Across more than 50 countries. And look at who's using them. Half the Fortune 100, 80% of the Forbes Cloud 100, 78% of the Forbes AI 50. What does that breadth tell you, from startups to these massive companies?
Well, that breadth of adoption, it really showcases the platform's versatility, right?
Right.
And its scalability. It works across the whole spectrum.
Right.
It means their infrastructure isn't just some niche thing. It's robust enough for the biggest enterprises, but it's still approachable for, the tiny startup just getting going.
Okay, so given that huge mission and scale, let's look back a bit. How did Stripe even start? Founded 2010, right, by the Collison brothers, Patrick and John from Ireland.
That's right.
And they started with a pretty straightforward goal, it seems. Just make it easier for small businesses to accept payments online.
Simpler times, maybe. Maybe. But they had some pretty serious early backers. Elon Musk, Peter Thiel, Sequoia Capital.
Yeah, some big names saw the potential early on. But one thing that really set Stripe apart right from the beginning, and it's still core to them, is that developer-centric approach.
Okay, yeah, you hear that a lot with Stripe, developer-centric.
Yeah, run day one, they engineered it as a developer-oriented payments company. And that really shaped everything, the product, the ecosystem.
So let's unpack that. What does that actually look like for a business? If you're integrating Stripe, why is that developer focus so powerful?
Well, it looks like really intuitive APIs, application programming interfaces. Basically, pre-built connectors developers love.
Right, less hassle.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Plus, comprehensive documentation, tools like a command line interface for easy control, really solid test environments.
Okay.
And the power is, it just dramatically cuts down engineering time and the operational complexity.
So instead of spending months building payment stuff.
Exactly. You can integrate Stripe in days, sometimes hours. And that lets businesses focus entirely on their main product, their core offering.
Makes sense.
And that creates this powerful network effect, you see. Easy integration pulls in more developers. They build cool stuff on the platform. That drives innovation, new features, and it makes the customers really sticky. They don't want to leave.
Okay, now here's where I think it gets really interesting. Stripe's use of AI and machine learning. This isn't just a buzzword for them, is it? How deep does it actually go?
No, it's definitely not just buzz. It's deeply embedded, everywhere.
Right.
And it's designed specifically to, well, increase revenue and cut costs for their users.
directly impacting the bottom line.
Directly. And what's truly revolutionary is how their machine learning models are trained. They use what they call an economy scale data set.
Economy scale, meaning?
Imagine billions, literally billions of data points flowing in constantly from millions of companies all over the globe, all feeding this massive learning engine.
So the more businesses use Stripe, the smarter its AI gets. It's like a virtuous cycle.
Precisely, yeah. And this continuous learning from such a huge, diverse data set, it makes it incredibly difficult for competitors to catch up.
How so?
Well, think about it. If some new type of fraud pops up in, say, Brazil, Stripe's AI sees it, learns from it almost instantly, and then applies that defense globally.
Ah, okay. Collective intelligence.
Exactly. It's a kind of collective intelligence that's just really hard for anyone else to replicate because they simply don't see that volume or variety of data.
And the results, I mean, they really speak for themselves. Users reporting what? An average 2.2% revenue increase and 38% lower fraud.
Yeah, those are the average figures they report.
And then you look at those specific examples. Hertz boosting authorization rates by 4%. That's significant. Forbes seeing a 23% jump in subscription revenue.
23%.
Or Turo, the car-sharing marketplace, capturing an additional $114 million a year. What does that tell you about the power here? It's not just small tweaks, is it?
No, absolutely not. It tells you these aren't just marginal gains.
Yeah.
These are significant bottom line impacts. They translate directly into a competitive advantage for Stripe's customers. This level of optimization, that fraud prevention, powered by that data set, it really changes the economics for businesses online.
Okay, so we've definitely established Stripe is way more than just taking payments. Let's dive into that product ecosystem properly. You called it a full financial infrastructure for the internet, all on one unified API-first platform.
Right, and that modular design is really key.
Modular.
Yeah, meaning businesses can pick and choose components. They don't have to buy the whole stack. That reduces the feeling of vendor lock-in, you know.
Ah, makes sense. More flexibility.
Exactly. And it also lets Stripe roll out new features much faster. It's how they can be this central hub for finance stuff, even if company uses, say, another processor for certain things.
Okay, let's start with the core then. Payment processing and optimization, even just taking payments. What makes Stripe's approach stand out? How do they push beyond just the transaction to actually help the business's bottom line?
Well, the strength there is kind of twofold. First, the global reach we talked about. Stripe Payments is this unified global solution, online, in-person, international, handling over 100 payment methods, 42 languages.
Okay, the basics covered well.
Right. But then the real magic, I think, comes from tools like Stripe Checkout and Stripe Elements. Checkout is that pre-built payment form, but it's heavily optimized for conversion.
Optimized how?
Well, little things. UI tweaks, showing the right local payment methods. It's why some early adopters saw up to a 46% sales uplift just by enabling local payment options through it. It's designed to make people complete the purchase.
And Elements gives more customization.
Exactly. Customizable UI building blocks for a secure payment experience. The payment element, for example, users see an average of almost 12% more revenue. And Link, their one-click checkout, gives a 14% conversion bump for returning customers. It's all about reducing friction.
And for businesses wanting something even simpler, no code needed.
That's Stripe Payment Links. You just create a link, share it, and you can sell online. Super fast, customizable, support subscriptions, whatever.
Got it. And underpinning all this is Stripe Radar, the fraud detection. How does it stay ahead? Fraud patterns change so fast.
It comes back to that economy scale data set again. It's all about the data.
Right.
The sheer volume and diversity of transactions lets the machine learning models spot new fraud patterns almost the moment they emerge.
Real-time learning, essentially.
Pretty much. So as the fraudsters get smarter, Stripe's system learns and rolls out new defenses across the whole network. It makes it incredibly adaptive and resilient.
Okay, that makes perfect sense. So once you're taking payments efficiently, stopping fraud, the next big headache, especially for growing businesses, is managing all that revenue, right? Subscriptions, invoicing.
Absolutely. And that's where Stripe's Revenue and Financial Automation Suite comes in. It's designed to automate those often really burdensome parts of the financial workflow.
Like what specifically?
Well, take Stripe Billing. It manages subscriptions, recurring payments. But it's AI-powered smart retries and automated recovery workflows. Get this, helped users reclaim over $3.4 billion in revenue in 2023.
Billion, with a B.
Billion. That's revenue that would have just been lost to failed payments otherwise.
Wow. Okay, that's impact. What else is in the suite?
There's Stripe Invoicing. streamlines getting paid.
Hmm.
Apparently 87% of invoices sent via Stripe get paid within 24 hours.
That's fast.
Very fast. And then there's the stuff businesses often dread, taxes and accounting.
Oh, yeah. Fun times.
Yeah.
Right.
So Stripe Tax automates global tax compliance over 100 countries, all U.S. states, calculates taxes in real time, supposedly with 99.999% uptime.
That's reliable and accounting.
Stripe revenue recognition helps automate accrual accounting. It helps businesses meet those complex financial reporting standards like IFRS 15 and ASC 606. Basically, the global rules for recording income. Handles upgrades, refunds, all that complex stuff.
So it takes away a lot of the manual pain and potential errors.
Exactly. Huge win for accuracy, compliance, and they even help businesses understand their data better. Stripe Sigma is this interactive SQL environment for analysis. It even has an AI assistant now that turns plain English questions into database queries.
Like, show me my sales in Germany last month.
Very much, yeah. And if you need your Stripe data in your own systems like Snowflake or Redshift, Stripe Data Pipeline gives you a direct, no-code link. No need for complex third-party ETL tools.
Okay, so they've got the internal financial house in order, but you mentioned Stripe enables other businesses to become financial service providers. How does that work?
Yeah, this really ties into their platform of platforms strategy. It creates this massive multiplier effect across the digital economy.
Platform of platforms. Explain that a bit.
Think about marketplaces or software platforms like Shopify, for example. Stripe Connect is the leading platform for them to embed payment solutions, handle payouts globally, even in crypto. Something like 75% of the world's top marketplaces use Connect.
So Stripe powers the payment layer within those platforms.
Precisely. But it goes deeper now.
Deeper how? Issuing cards, offering banking.
Exactly that. Stripe Issuing lets businesses create and manage their own card programs, virtual cards, physical cards. They get control over spending, maybe even earn a share of the interchange fees.
Interesting.
And then there's Stripe Treasury. That provides APIs so platforms can embed financial services directly. Think ECH transfers, wire transfers. They can even offer FDIC-eligible accounts through the platform. Shopify Balance is a prime example built on Treasury.
So Shopify isn't becoming a bank, but they can offer bank-like services using Stripe's infrastructure.
You got it. And for businesses needing funds, there's Stripe Capital. Offers loans, cash advances, pretty quick approval, automated repayment tied to sales. Makes funding more accessible.
Man, the ecosystem is just vast. It seems like they're touching almost every part of online business finance, and even moving into things like environmental responsibility with Stripe Climate.
Yeah, the climate tool lets businesses direct a fraction of their revenue to carbon removal technologies.
How do these more specialized, almost forward-looking services like Climate or Atlas for incorporating startups or even their Web3 stuff, how do they position Stripe for the future?
Well, including these specialized business services really shows their long-term vision, I think. They're constantly expanding what the internet economy even means.
Right.
Take Stripe Atlas. Helps startups incorporate fast, mainly in Delaware. Automates paperwork, provides legal docs, just makes it easier to launch, lowers the barrier to entry.
And things like identity verification. That seems critical.
Absolutely. Stripe Identity gives tools to confirm user identities programmatically. Biometric matching, ID number lookups. Crucial for preventing fraud in onboarding and transactions.
And connecting bank accounts securely.
That's Stripe Financial Connections. Securely links to bank accounts over 97% of U.S. accounts across 5,000 banks, they say. For instant verification, getting balance info, transaction data, makes things like funding accounts or underwriting much smoother.
Okay, and then there's Stripe Crypto.
Yeah.
Stepping into Web3, what's the play there?
Well, Web3, this idea of a decentralized internet on blockchains. Stripe Crypto offers payment solutions for businesses in that space, letting customers pay with stablecoins. Those are cryptos pegged to dollars, usually, and providing fiat to crypto on-ramps so people can easily buy crypto.
So they're building financial rails for that potential next wave of the internet.
That seems to be the goal. Along with Stripe Climate for carbon removal, it shows they're not just focused on today's internet economy, but actively building infrastructure for tomorrow's, whether that's decentralized, greener, or both. They want to empower businesses wherever the digital world goes.
Okay, but Stripe isn't alone, obviously. It's a super competitive space.
Yeah.
What does that landscape look like right now? How does Stripe really stack up?
Yeah, it's definitely competitive. As of, say, mid-2025, estimates put Stripe's market share in payment processing software around 20.8%. That makes it the second most used solution globally.
Second only to.
likely PayPal, given their huge consumer base. And Stripe's valuation reflects that position around $91.5 billion.
So who are the main players they're really battling? What are the different strengths?
Well, you've got PayPal, obviously huge brand recognition, massive user network.
Hmm.
Then there's Adyen, they're very strong globally, end-to-end platform, often favored by large enterprises,
Yeah.
known for good fraud prevention too. Square is a big competitor, especially for smaller businesses, particularly those with a physical brick-and-mortar presence. And Braintree, which is actually owned by PayPal, is another significant player.
So lots of competition. How does Stripe maintain its edge against those strengths?
Each has its niche, right? But Stripe's big differentiators remain that developer-first DNA we talked about, and the AI-powered optimization fueled by that massive data set.
The data advantage again?
Exactly. Competitors just don't have access to the same scale and diversity of transaction data to train their AI models. That makes it really hard to match Stripe's performance on things like fraud detection, authorization rate optimization, revenue recovery. Those AI-driven advantages are significant competitive barriers.
Okay, so looking ahead then, what's next for Stripe? Where are they focusing their energy and investment?
Well, their consistent profitability gives them a lot of firepower for R&D. They're reinvesting heavily, especially in AI, naturally, and also in emerging fintech areas like stablecoins.
Capitalizing on the AI boom seems key.
Definitely. You saw that stat. 78% of the Forbes AI 50 companies are already building on Stripe. Their own data suggests top AI startups grow much faster using their platform. So they're clearly positioning themselves as the financial backbone for the AI revolution.
And they're making some potentially big moves too, exploring stablecoin integration in Germany, potentially applying for a U.S. banking license.
Yes, those reports are out there. Expanding stablecoin use, maybe even getting a banking license. It all points towards their long-term vision.
Which is?
To embed themselves even deeper into the core operations of online businesses, becoming that single integrated platform where businesses manage everything financial. Offering banking-like services or easier crypto transactions could reduce reliance on traditional banks or other third parties, making businesses stickier and maybe more resilient within the Stripe ecosystem.
So we've really covered a lot today, a truly deep dive from that huge mission, increasing the GDP of the internet, down to the nitty-gritty of their products, the AI power, and where they might be headed.
Yeah, it's clear Stripe has moved way beyond just being a payment button. It really has become this foundational financial infrastructure provider, building this sticky ecosystem that, well, benefits businesses of pretty much all shapes and sizes, and it's actively shaping what online commerce looks like.
So thinking about that mission again, increase the GDP of the internet. Here's something for you, our listener, to consider. How might Stripe's continued expansion, this deepening financial infrastructure, how might that fundamentally reshape what's even possible online over the next decade? What completely new kinds of businesses or new economic activities might actually emerge because this infrastructure exists?